Like literally you could walk into especially if you walk into my house because it's my home, but I could feel your energy. I could look at your face, and I always say it's in the eyes and it's a real thing. But I could tell if somebody's a bad person usually. And I hate that. It's a blessing and a curse for sure.
This is Rock Bottom with Ryan. No sugarcoating, no filters. The pain, the chaos, the truth. No bullshit. Just recovery.
Welcome to another episode of Rock Bottom with Ryan and Rachel. It's just me and my co-host here today just to talk about a few different topics. And today, one of the topics we want to go into is triggers in sobriety. And it was a topic that came up earlier today in my meeting, and I just thought that we could discuss kind of what things triggered us in the past and what things still are triggers that we kind of wish we could get rid of in our sobriety. How about you, Rachel? What's the first thing that comes to mind for you?
I still struggle with anger. And it does make sense because when I do talk about how I got when I was drunk, it makes a lot of sense. I was an angry drunk, right? I was very evil. Not only did I pop off at the mouth often and like really talk out of my ass and verbally abuse people, but I got physical, right? And I would harm myself. So in sobriety, I notice I still I really get fumed easily. Like, but by more realistic stuff, but similar to the things that would make me pop off when I was drunk, if that makes any sense. I don't like being lied to, or betrayed or anything like that. That makes me very, very, very angry. So
Yeah. I agree. That reminds me of what triggers me is like people when they snap or they're yelling or something like that. I think I talked about it in a video earlier today on Instagram, but like I just feel my heart starts beating fast when somebody's frustrated about something, even if I'm not even a part of the situation. When somebody's ranting or pissed off, like my car broke down, fuck, or something like that, or just I don't know why, but it tenses me up, and especially if it is directed at me when I don't feel like it's deserved. And even
yeah.
if I did deserve it, I feel like there's other ways to communicate. And I'm not saying I was always perfect in every situation, whether it's relationships, because I know I've had my moments where I snapped and probably raised my voice, but like I still something that I've always tried to manage pretty well. So when it happens to me, all my first go-to is to run or shut down, like fight or flight moment, and I freeze.
Yeah.
So
That
yeah,
makes me sad.
I know. But I mean, like
It does.
I was probably when I was drinking, I was probably more, apt to, snap or talk back or whatever. But in my recovery, the last situations I ever think I'll get into are yelling matches or arguments. And then, I feel like there are ways to communicate and get your point across without yelling. So yelling's a big one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
I grew
me,
up
yeah.
around it. So yeah.
So that's probably why it stems from childhood. It's almost
Mhm.
like I'm not calling you a coward. It's just the word like you're cowarding, like you're scared, like it's making you go back into what you felt like when you were a kid.
Exactly. I mean, it's even like if you even suffered from, I talked to another guest about bullying recently, and it's like sometimes when I felt like I was at a job place and a manager or something was talking down to me, it brought me back to childhood where there was some moments where I was bullied by a person. Only like a small portion of my childhood did I experience bullying, but just certain things bring you back to those crappy moments as a kid. So it's like, oh, the first go-to is to shut down or feel
Yeah.
worthless or something.
Yeah. I don't like being alone, and that's a trigger for me, which makes me, being lonely. And early sobriety for me, I would cry so much. I wouldn't have any friends. I lost everybody already. And if I had anybody, they either were too busy because they had a life, or they were still kind of skeptical about coming around me because I had to make amends and they had to see the change, or I just genuinely lost people. But I was very lonely, and that's part of the reason why I was drinking, and that would bring up childhood memories because I grew up without a mother, and I was very alone as a child, and I didn't like being when I was a teenager, I started very young dating boys and having, seeking love in the wrong places because I didn't have anybody to teach me, this isn't right. This isn't where you find love. You have to love yourself, right? So
Exactly.
it took me until almost 2 years ago to really understand that, and that's a trigger for me. Now I really enjoy my own peace, but I could get lonely. I still am seeking, and I've talked about this before, I'm still seeking, like, a female friend because I have you, like, for real, like, I'm not even just, like I have every single person that I'm very, very close to is a male. So I'm a co-host and best friend with you. You're male. Then I have my son. All my pets are boys. My fiance. And then I have my dad. And
I'm
all
surrounded
women
by
figure have
bros.
passed away. All of my women figure have passed away though, if you know my
Yeah.
background. So a good
Sorry.
6, 7 people. So,
Yeah. That's
hey, it's
tough.
part of my journey, but that's a trigger. That's a trigger. It takes me back to childhood being alone. But now yeah, I'm seeking feminine energy. I really am, like in person though, because I do have it on, the online community. I have all that, but I am seeking a best friend in person.
Does that ever feel like, because all of your female important people in your life have passed away or gone or whatever, does it feel like you have a sense of abandonment issues? So you have trouble trusting new relationships?
I don't have
Yeah.
trouble trusting it. It just makes me get like once I get attached and then I notice they leave, which still has happened in sobriety. I've made friends and then they didn't stay around and I would get excited when I become their friend. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay. But I am seeking and I have to remember I'm also an adult. We're adults, right? Like we have lives and I'm a mom and I'm on a podcast and I work full time. I'm a fiance, but it'd be nice to have girls' night once a month or something. I don't fucking
Yeah.
know. I
Yeah.
really don't know what girls do. I really don't know. Like I go to the gym and I'm just like, yeah, let's go fucking pump iron like a guy.
Yeah. And a lot of girls want to go to the gym and lift weights, say they're like, let's do yoga or something. But I don't know. I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but I'm just
Right.
saying. But yeah, I
I mean,
mean, I'm
I
sure
it's
you'll
true.
find some friends out there. And I think this podcast might attract some girls that are actually like, oh yeah, I
She'll
want to kick
come
it with
along.
Rachel.
She'll come along. She will. The universe will bring
That's,
her to me. But that's a
I mean, even
trigger.
my
It used to be.
yeah, I feel like most of the people. I mean, I have my friend Mike who's like 90, and I've got my buddy Frank. Shout out to Frank. He's like 78 or whatever. Like my friends are all older than me and stuff, and
That's
sometimes
fine
I'm
though.
kind of like, yeah, that's fine. I got my
I
buddies, but
get
like
it
sometimes
though.
I'm like, I don't have a lot of friends outside of the program, so it's kind of, I'm like, I don't know if
Yeah.
maybe I just attract sober people now.
I need that. Well, I'm attracting sober people too, so that's awesome. People who are coming around me like naturally in sobriety, like they're not people that are in recovery, which it would be cool to randomly run into somebody that's like also in recovery, but everybody is also just like either super into fitness or something. I'm like, okay, so these are like either this is like a normal functioning person of society and I just wasn't a part of this for a while, or these are my people now. They are my people now, people who like to work out and go get coffee, stuff like that.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't fucking know what women do. I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. But they do like to go get coffee. I think they like to do yoga. They like to, yeah. I
You
mean, I
say
don't know
that
what
a
there's to
lot.
do in Florida. I know because I think
Do
of yoga, and
yoga.
I
I've
I
never.
think when I go to yoga, I'm one of the only guys. My buddy Frank and I we go sometimes, and I'm like we're the only two guys there sometimes, and it's a bunch of women. So I'm like, women love yoga apparently, and apparently it's not a big guy thing, but I do it sometimes. So
I mean, no judgment. That's awesome. I mean, if you're that, can you do cool things? I'm not going to call them tricks, especially to people listening to this
no,
who do
I
yoga.
can't.
I'm not trying to
I'm not.
try you
I'm not
guys.
very I'm not very flexible. No, I just go
So,
just to I think I just go just to say I did yoga and walk out feeling a little
mm,
better about myself.
and to see beautiful women.
Yeah, beautiful women
Just kidding.
stretching. It's great. Yeah. No,
Okay.
Frank.
I mean, hey, get flexible. I mean, it's a good source of meditation. I mean, for me, that's big in my world. I stretch, but I meditate a lot, and that helps my triggers, that helps my anger. And when the world, I really write this under a lot of my meditation stuff. Like when the world feels chaotic, because that's what my brain feels like all the time. I really, have a lot of tabs open, but a lot of talking, a lot of voices at once, and just like, like, be
Yeah,
quiet.
I know. Does that ever
So,
make it so like not just loneliness, but just boredom a trigger? Because it can be a trigger for me too. Is like I
yeah,
feel like there's always something that could be done. I could always be working on this podcast. I could always be hanging out with somebody. But sometimes boredom just makes my mind go crazy. So that could be
yeah.
considered a trigger too. And I think a lot of us in recovery, the way we stayed busy was drinking and shutting our mind off even if we're by ourselves, or drinking and socializing. Like it always occupied our time, so we were never really bored. And but in sobriety it's like we want to be productive. We find new hobbies in sobriety. Like I started learning how to work on trucks and stuff like that, and I got into that for a while. And then I got into this podcast, became a hobby, and now it's, becoming more than that. And it's so we try to stay busy in recovery, but when I get
Yeah.
bored and have nothing to do, I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing?
I could definitely relate to that because for me, I could never sit still. And my major hobby is working out, moving my body and going for walks. But I know for recovery, especially if you want to also see results, because I have a goal also, you do need to rest your body. And that's very hard for me to sit still and not do something also either podcast related or something, just kind of shut my mind off and actually chill. That's hard for
Yeah.
me. And bringing up boredom, though, for me, I would say in sobriety, when I say the word trigger, I'm not talking about, oh, I feel like drinking. Now, in sobriety, like I would say that in early sobriety or when I was in addiction, a trigger for me would be like, okay, I feel like drinking. A trigger now is like feeling my emotions and having to sit with that. So it's like, I'm bored now. Okay. Boredom is now making me feel sad. Sadness is making me feel lonely. And this is why I drink.
Yeah.
But now what am I going to do? Because I already promoted for the day, worked out twice because I went walking also.
Hell
So
yeah.
no, you're going to shower, eat dinner after this and relax and watch TV. You're not gonna, you need to shut your
Yeah.
mind off. You need to relax, or you have to balance all that stuff or else you could burn out.
Exactly. I'm going to the gym right after this actually, and I'm looking forward to it because I just felt so good afterwards. So plus I had a buddy say I had a dad bod the other day and it pissed me off. So now I feel like I got to work out more. So
Well,
even
it's also about what you eat.
I know, but I don't think I have a dad bod. He's just he knows I'm insecure about it. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to go work out really hard for a month.
A month.
Yeah, no, forever. But he was just giving me a hard time. But which brings me to my next subject: negative people, negative energy. I don't like, not talking about my buddy there because he was messing with me, but just negativity. I don't like being around negative people who bring in negative energy, and it makes me feel down because I'm an empath. So I feel that negative energy, and it makes me feel down on things. So do you ever get that too?
What, being an empath?
Well, like, does negative energy from other people kind of just start making your day feel kind of down, or do you surround yourself with all positive people and just avoid that?
Um, so some people always, I don't know, a lot of people say this and I know who's real and not, but I'm not going to say psychic abilities, but I can like feel people's energies. Like literally you could walk into especially if you walk into my house because it's my home, but I could feel your energy. I could look at your face, and I always say it's in the eyes and it's a real thing. But I could tell if somebody's a bad person usually, and I hate that. It's a blessing and a curse for sure.
Yeah,
So, negative energy, that's a thing.
yeah,
It's not just in the way somebody acts because you could say all the right things, but how did you say it? And what was your body language? And I keep
exactly.
all of that.
Yeah,
And
very observant.
I'm very observant. So you could try to act around me, but I'll know that you're bullshitting. And if you're
Yeah.
a bad person, I don't fuck with you. Like, what's that saying? Realize, realize, realize.
Like, that's what Tupac said, right? Realize, realize,
Yeah.
realize. Yeah. I thought it was a
I'm gonna
Tupac
say
quote.
yes.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Let's look that
I
up.
think it is. I feel like it was. I almost guarantee it. Tupac said some
I
great
really
things.
hope so because a lot of people are listening to this and they're gonna be like, "No, it was this rapper," and they're gonna put it in the comments. So don't come for us. I
Just to
have Biggie
clarify,
right here.
real eyes, realize, real lies. Yeah.
Quote
That's
by
how it goes.
Rachel, not
Quote
Tupac.
by Rachel, not Tupac. Yeah. Tupac heard it from Rachel.
Circa Facebook Memories 2008.
That's great.
I
All
took
right.
that from the other Rachel. Okay, let's ask each other some rapid fire questions
Rapid
on
fire
triggers because
recovery.
I have some fun ones.
Okay. Let's see. You can ask first.
I have a few. Okay. What's a trigger you didn't even know was a trigger until sobriety smacked you in the face?
That's a good question. Probably how people parent their kids. That's one thing I've been observant of. I've just noticed like I pay more attention to everything now, but like I've seen how whether I've been in relationships or just seeing from afar, I kind of pay attention even though I'm not a parent. I've noticed that I really care more about how people are parenting their kids because I know it affects how they're going to be when they grow up. And some of those things they do, those little things, I realize could, and cause, that child to grow up and possibly be an addict. So I'm kind of like always in my head, since I'm not a parent, I don't have much authority or any say in it, but like, I'm just like, everything you do to that child and everything they witness and hear and see and how you talk to them is going to affect them later in life. And that's something in my recovery I paid more attention to. And I've noticed talking to people in recovery who are sober now and how they've changed their parenting habits for the better. It just, that's really good to see. So,
Yeah,
including yourself.
definitely.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And a little background for you guys. You wanted to study child psychology, right? Okay, so I really I'm defending you here. Like, this is something you're passionate about. I know that deep down and
Yeah.
it stems. So it's like, I get it. Cause you're not a parent and people are gonna be like, you're not a parent. Well, yeah, I could easily say that back to you. I'm a parent, but I get what you're saying though, because I had a lot of neglect, right? So you want to be more present. And that's something I want to make sure I am for my child because I don't want him ever saying my mom, was never around,
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
know?
Yeah. What's a trigger that smacked you in the face?
So and I've also shared this often that because I'm going to start really advocating for it anyway, but I have ADHD severely, like severely, severely. And I did not know that until sobriety. I wasn't fully diagnosed and I didn't feel my feelings because I was numbing. And it's actually it's not just about there's a stigma to it too. That it's not just I forget things and things like that, or, I'm hyper. What goes on in the brain of somebody who has ADHD, it's actually, it could be exhausting and terrifying.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a lot of just like that. And I expressed this before, tabs being open and a lot of just
Yeah.
tasks that you have to do. I have to put reminders in my phone for every little thing. And I don't forget it. I always make sure I get things done. I'm very organized, but that's crazy too when you have ADHD, like being an organized person too. So I'm like, I have call doctor's office at this time, in my calendar. Don't forget to call your doc. Don't forget to pay this bill. Oh, it's often though, and then things for my kid. So that smacked me in the face. That it's a big trigger that it's upsetting. It's upsetting. But I also learned to deal with it in a positive aspect by putting upbeat music. I put timers when I'm cooking or cleaning to make sure I don't forget things on the stove. I've done that and almost caused many fires. So that
Yeah.
sucks. Or you're in the middle of doing laundry and you just mid load. leave everything, leave the dryer open and just walk
Yep.
away. Yep.
ADHD is a funny
I'm
thing.
gonna get a leash. I saw it on
Yeah.
Facebook and like I started laughing and then like I kept going back to the video and I was like, I like this idea. Like if you leash yourself to the dishwasher and you're cleaning the dishes and you're putting it in the dishwasher and you go to walk away, it's gonna leash you back. Like,
Yeah.
bitch, get back. Finish the dishes. You're supposed to be in the fucking kitchen, bitch.
He's might
That
as well
was
put a
epic.
shock
Sorry.
collar on us while we're at it.
That was like really aggressive. I had to let that out. No, but
There's the
yeah,
Ratchet
definitely
Rachel we know.
that you don't want to know. No, but yeah, I mean that smacked me in the face in sobriety. I could say that for sure.
If you could rename your trigger something ridiculous to make it less scary, what would you call it?
Squirrely. Yeah, because my trigger is ADHD.
Oh, squirrely. I like that.
Cute, but it's not.
I don't know what I'd call mine. Probably just some kind of human name. I
They,
don't even
okay,
know.
your trigger was how people treat their kids.
Yeah.
We could call it Karen.
Yeah, let's call it Karen. Karen. The other one that jumped in my mind was Griffey. Name it after my dog just because he's the sweetest thing ever.
That's cute. The
Yeah.
fuck? Looking at my dog. My dog's right here. A phone. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Other
That was a quick
triggers.
one.
Yeah. Other triggers
You
I
want to
could
go?
think of. No, you go. Next question. Pull more.
That's not a good one. Let's see. Okay. Is your biggest trigger emotional, physical, spiritual, or delusional?
Hmm.
Oh, I can
Say that
answer
again.
this so you can understand it.
Say it again.
Is your biggest trigger emotional, like sadness and stuff like that? Physical, when you're not feeling well or you're sick, you like something like that? Spiritual or delusional, something that's not real out of your control?
I think delusional just because I feel like I've always had the
Same.
problem of building things up in my head to make them seem worse than they probably are. So I think
Hmm.
delusional because I jump to conclusions and I build these
Yeah.
uh things that aren't even real in my head or outcomes that didn't even actually happen. So I know most of it is my own thought process, which is why I try to train myself not to take anything too seriously anymore. And that's
Yeah.
but so I know that most of my problems have been my own making and are delusional.
I would say mine too. I would definitely say mine are delusional as well because things are not in my control for sure. And things are not always falling apart. And, I can't always handle everything. I'm only human.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good
We
question
are.
though. Yeah.
Your turn.
Let's see. If your trigger could text you, what would it always send? You up or miss me? I don't even
You
get
up?
that one.
You
You
up?
up?
Mine would be like, you up? You paying attention? You would be like, no.
Mine would say miss me because I always think that I'm above it and it's not going to bug me anymore, but then it still comes out, I still get triggered by little things every now and again. I'm a lot more patient than I used to be and I'm a lot more self-aware than I used to be, but sometimes that works against
Is
me.
there a trigger though that would actually you think make you, and I could answer mine realistically, a trigger you think that could ever make you relapse?
No, the only times that the even idea of drinking has crossed my mind is never because of something really tensed me up too much or had me stressed and made me want to drink. It's usually boredom. And I think, yeah, I stay busy enough to the point where I never get bored anymore. But I do know that if I sit still too long, my mind will start racing. And that could be the only possible way I'd ever relapse is if I just
Yeah.
made it so I had nothing to do for like too long of a period of time. And then maybe, just maybe, which I say I'll never drink ever again, but that would be the only time I could give in is just boredom and nobody would know about it kind of thing. But that hasn't
Mm,
happened, and I don't plan on letting it happen. So, yeah.
yeah. I mean, you would know about it, so that's technically what matters, right?
Yeah, like when I was in LA and there was a whole row of fifths on the counter, for a couple of days, and I'm just kind of, I just made sure I never got bored because I just knew those things were calling my name, and I was like, nope, not listening. So I was
No,
like,
for
why
me,
throw it away for one drink? What's yours?
no, it's not worth it. Yeah, for me, it would go right back into abandonment. I would say when I had a relapse in early recovery, when I had a whole slip up for that one time when I got back on the wagon, a big slip up, that was due to relationship issues that I was in early sobriety and I wasn't healed enough within to, or I wasn't, the work wasn't done yet on myself. So I would say something like that I'm not going to say it will or anything like that, but I've healed a lot since then and I have a lot more strength. So if something were to happen with my fiance, who is my best friend, and it would, kill me, I feel like I have so much strength within as a woman and as a mother now and respect for myself that I would get through it. And I would really think that I wouldn't go to alcohol. I love him very much, but nobody is worth my sobriety in my life. Literally, it's not. So
Exactly.
but there's always that fear just because I have those abandonment issues that I'm still working on very heavily, very,
That
very
fear
heavily.
is necessary. That
Yeah,
aspect of fear, I think, is necessary. We should always be scared that there's a chance we would give in, because that keeps us on our toes and on edge, and at least paying attention to what does trigger us and what could
yeah,
cause us to relapse. Because if we take our guard down, or like the book says, rest on our laurels, that's when things get bad. So
yeah,
it's good to be on edge. It's good to have our eyes open and aware of all our surroundings, because something's out there to get us. I mean, they say that the longer you're sober, the closer you are to your next drink. And I believe that, So that's a
yeah,
quote I heard the other day. And I firmly believe that the more confident we get, the worse it could get. And we just have to pretend, hey, this is our first day sober, another 24 hours.
yeah. For me, and then that just means, continue to work on if you're able to pinpoint what could be a possible trigger to relapse, like I just did. That's
Yeah,
why I work on myself because I don't want a situation like I said with my fiance. I love him very much and I'm going to marry him. But my fiance or even a relationship with a close friend or a family member now that could really hinder my emotional state. I don't see that being worth my sobriety now, but in early sobriety, it broke my heart so much. But now I have tools. I go to therapy, I work out, I meditate heavily. So it's like I have the tools. I know what I need to do.
exactly. No, that's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, so as far as triggers go, I think we covered a lot on that today. Um, yeah, as far as yeah, I think that's about it. That's all I got for this.
Yep. That's
Shout
good.
out to Sober Strong. Sober Strong, our
Yes,
sponsor. I'm not
for
wearing it at
strong.
the moment. I decided to rock the Lakers today, but shout out to Sober Strong.
You
It's not just lifestyle wear, it's battle gear
feel the mission. Feel the mission.
for
I
the
got
the
you.
ones that draw a hard line. Stay sober, stay true, rep the crew. Thanks for watching Rock Bottom with Rachel and Ryan. We will be back next week.
Rock Bottom with Ryan. No bullshit, just recovery.